investigation, Betty.
Well, new concerns that Al-Qaeda is having a resurgence in Iraq. A new report showing violence soaring to levels not seen in 5 years. According to the United Nations, nearly 8,000 civilians were killed in terrorist attacks in Iraq in 2013. That number double what it's been in recent years. Of course, U.S. troops withdrew from Iraq at the end of 2011. Retired Lieutenant Colonel Ralph Peters is a Fox News military analyst. Thank you for joining us.
Happy New Year, Patty Ann.
Same to you. Well, the UN reported this week that more than 7,800 civilians were killed in Iraq in 2013. That's higher than in 2008 before the surge, double what we saw during the surge. What do you make of this?
And there are other estimates, Patty Ann, that actually go up to 10,000 dead Iraqis this year and above. And I do believe that when future historians look back on the Obama era, they will identify his precipitous flight, his hasty retreat from Iraq, as his #1 strategic blunder, foreign policy blunder. And that's saying something. Because what he left behind was a power vacuum. Al-Qaeda was able to see, which had been defeated. Al-Qaeda had been broken under Bush, for all Bush's other problems. When Al-Qaeda was able to grab the narrative, say, well, see, we outlasted the Americans, we won. And look at what we have now, not only in Iraq, which is back to a civil war, frankly, but throughout the region, Syria, increasingly Lebanon, North Africa, Libya. Al-Qaeda and like-minded organizations are vastly stronger than they were when Obama took office. So Iraq is a tragedy that was avoidable. If we had still had troops in Iraq today, just a small contingent, imagine how relations would be different with Iran, how Syria might be different. So again, we created a power vacuum. It was filled by the jihadis and the haters, and the entire region is degenerating into what will be a multi-year civil war on multiple levels, a tragedy.
Yeah, a civil war, as you say, mainly between Sunnis and Shiites. What exactly is Al-Qaeda's role there?
Well, Al-Qaeda played for high stakes in Iraq, and they lost. We beat them, the surge, etc., finally calmed it down. And Al-Qaeda put down roots, though. And the seeds were able to bloom again when the U.S. presence left. And of course, as you observed, it's Sunni versus Shia. Also, within the Sunni and Shia community, it's fanatics versus relative moderates, some secularists who don't make really much of a difference. Then you've got the Kurds. So there are really two sets of problems here, neither of which are easy to solve. One is that powerful Sunni Shia Islamist versus relative moderate hatred. I mean, in Washington, the secular elite in Washington, Patty Ann, after all these years and all the evidence, still can't believe that religion is a powerful force in human affairs. And the second problem, at least as intractable, is that the borders don't work. Iraq's borders, Syria's, Lebanon's, they're not natural borders. And what you're seeing is the people of the Middle East redrawing their own borders in blood, while our State Department pretends that it's going to be business as usual.
So how strong is Al-Qaeda in other areas outside Iraq?
Well, much stronger. But I think, as you saw with the Benghazi debate this week, people focus on Al-Qaeda, when really Al-Qaeda was the pioneer. But now the other settlers have followed, to use an American analogy. And so you've not only got Al-Qaeda, you've got related organizations like Ansar al-Sharia throughout North Africa, North Central Africa, and the Middle East. Al-Qaeda is now a powerful regional verging on a global force.
Yeah. What do you believe the U.S. should do now?
You know, there is no good solution. That's an important question, Patty Ann. But, you know, we Americans think that there's always a good solution if only we can figure it out. The Middle East is so profoundly broken, so hate-filled, and so degenerate as a social organism that we can only play constructively in the margins. Sadly, the Middle Easterners are going to have to figure this out for themselves by and large, and they're going to solve it in blood.